I found this video that the Liberal Party posted to its own social media account truly horrifying in the sense that Justin Trudeau here is trying to articulate an idealized vision for what Canada's future could look like. At the same time, he's just describing a socialist state where Canadians don't make individual choices and they're fully reliant on government programs. At the same time, Justin Trudeau at the start of the clip tries to sideswipe Pierre Poilievre for wanting the government to be a lesser part of Canadians' lives. People make their own choices, people make decisions based on their own values, and that's supposed to be scary to you and to the like according to the Liberals and Justin Trudeau, that you actually, going out on your own life's adventure is fascism in their minds. And Justin Trudeau running your life, making all the decisions for you, and you even getting a job based on the priorities and values of the Liberal government, that's ideal. Take a look at this. It's less than a minute.
Pierre Poilievre's vision for this country is that the number one priority for the government should be to do less for Canadians. Well, he's not connecting the dots. When we attract a company like Volkswagen that invests to produce EV batteries here in St. Thomas, we grow the economy and we fight climate change. When we invest in childcare, we support hardworking families and the economy. Social policy is economic policy, is climate policy. Being able to offer the best start in life to kids, like here at the Station View YMCA in St. Thomas, and being able to tell them, if you want to grow up to be an engineer at the auto plant in your community, well, there'll be a job waiting for you. This is our vision so that every generation can have a real and fair chance at success.
Like, I don't know about you, I like the Poilievre vision better of the government being smaller and you being able to do what you want. Justin Trudeau is describing a future where you have to put your kids in government childcare, that you have to basically be promised a job by the government, that if you want to work in the automotive sector, you can't work on gas-powered cars. That's not part of the Liberal vision. But your town might have jobs available for you where you get to work at an EV factory. So if you want to become an engineer and you want to work in automotive engineering, well, the Liberals have already chosen for what type of automotive engineering you're going to do, because you're not supposed to make decisions that aren't in line with the values of the Liberal Party. And he even said that economic policy is social policy, is climate policy. All of these things are completely intertwined, and that you don't get to make a decision that's not influenced by the government's social values and its climate values. Whatever it thinks about climate change is going to determine what kind of job you get to work in. And that's why right now we have the Liberal government and Doug Ford's PC government in Ontario, because Doug Ford's not a real conservative, funding all of these battery plants and EV manufacturing plants, because they don't actually care about growing the economy in a real way. They want to simply determine what the economy looks like, regardless if it actually contracts growth. These EV jobs are fake jobs. You cannot fund Honda to come into the country and start an EV manufacturing plant and pretend that that's growth. That's not growth. That's basically hiring a circus to come into town in order to entertain your people. It's fake jobs. It's just paying people to pretend to be working on products that people want. There's a reason why Teslas in Canada and other EVs come with a $20,000 tax credit, because nobody wants an EV unless the government is going to give them a big incentive. But that is part of the Liberal vision. It's that if you make the right choices, you get ahead. And if you don't make the government-approved right choices, you don't get ahead. Because they're not going to let you work at a gas-powered factory, but gas-powered car factory. You're going to have to work at the EV factory or not be an engineer. And you can't put your kids in your own daycare center, an own private daycare center. It has to be a $10 a day daycare center that the government effectively runs by proxy. You're going to be reliant on their home ownership subsidies. You're going to have to be reliant on their carbon tax rebates from all the money that they're taking away from you for just heating your own home. That's the Justin Trudeau vision for the country, a socialist state. And socialism is not just communism, where the government directly controls everything, that your factory that you work has a Government of Canada logo on it, and that you work at the government factory you work, or you put your kids in government daycare. That's not what socialism is. Socialism and also fascism is a system where the government controls the economy. Doesn't mean that everything is literally owned by the government. It means through regulations, through taxes, through different laws that companies have to follow, effectively they can only do things with government permission. They have to meet government quotas. They can only make products that the government wants, and they can only sell them at a certain price, and they have to hire a certain amount of labor in order to do it. That's how the fascist Italian economy worked between the 20s, 30s, and 40s. And that's what Justin Trudeau effectively wants for Canada, a trade unionist economy where government-run trade unions, because that's basically what a lot of public sector and private sector unions function as, that government trade unions and the government negotiate against private business to force private business to do the bidding of the current government. That they have to make the government priorities theirs, or they're not going to get contracts, they're not going to get labor, and they're not going to be able to sell their products in this country. But it's still private business and private, initiative. But it's only private initiative within the very tight bounds of what the government wants from you, and also through high taxes. They control so much of the revenue in the country that you have to effectively suck up to the government, or you're not going to be able to get any traction in your chosen industry, because most of your money is going to come through government contract work. I much prefer the ability to actually control my own future, and that's what the Conservatives are offering. It's great to see in polling now that 67% of Canadians think we spend too much. That's a massive revolution in Canadian politics, because even 5 years ago, if you ask people, do we spend enough? Do we spend too much? Do we spend too little? Do you think we could spend a little bit more? Most people would probably select, oh yeah, I think we can spend a little bit more, because Canadians in general are fairly generous people. And if you say, do you think we don't spend enough on this type of program? Most people will say, benefit of the doubt, maybe we don't. Maybe we should give them some more money. These days, the fact that you can get the vast majority of Canadians to say, yeah, we spend too much is crazy, because we are a country that used to never happen. We see ourselves in contrast with the US, and a lot of Canadians think that spending cuts, that more, tighter control of spending, is not like shrinking programs. That's an American thing to do. So a lot of Canadians knee-jerk say, always spend more, always do more, because that's the Canadian thing to do. The fact that we've literally smashed that sort of conventional wisdom in Canada, that the government doing more is always better, demonstrates that, in a certain sense, Justin Trudeau has made the country more conservative. People have seen his vision being implemented. They already hate it. And just because Justin Trudeau is painting a picture of, if you let me keep doing this for another 4 to 8 years, it's going to get better, doesn't mean Canadians are going to come back to him. If anything, they want the exact opposite of Justin Trudeau. And the exact opposite of Trudeau right now is pure Poilievre. Well, anyways, that should be it for me today, guys. Just letting you know, my usual Give, Send, Go legal fund is in the description of this video. If you want to contribute anything to that, really helps me out. And again, I'm Wyatt Claypool, and I'm running for the Calgary Signal Hill Conservative Party nomination. If you live on the west side of Calgary, where Signal Hill is, if you have a membership, vote for me, number 1 on your ballot. The membership deadline in that race is already passed. And then if you also want to join the National Telegraph's Telegram channel, it's also linked in the description of this video. If you want to check that out, join, so you get all of our video content in chronological order as we post it. Have a great one, everyone.